Hi, everyone. How are you? Belinda Wasser here from the VA Connection. I am having such a wonderful day. I can't even tell you. We started out this morning, for those of you who are who took part in the challenge, or last week we had a 5-day VA Client Kickstart Challenge. If you took part in that, or you joined this morning, even as early as or as late as this morning, we offered free beverages from Starbucks. So I just reloaded mine in my own kitchen, but we gave everybody that is in the pop-up Facebook group who was interested a link to a barcode to go to Starbucks and go get yourself something. And if you missed it, I'm sorry. We'll do it again. We'll talk about doing it in VA school. That might be a graduation thing. We'll have to see how that goes, but that could be fun. I just love to drink hot tea all day. It's funny. I used to drink a lot of Diet Coke, and it was sort of like spiking my. I was getting like caffeine spikes, where this seems to be even, so I like that. So just tell me where you're coming in from. Tell me where you are in your VA journey. I'd love to hear, what's on your mind. What are the things that come up for you and you think, I don't know if I want to do this. What about this? What about that? And this presentation, actually, this live, has been scheduled for months. I do this particular one every month. So you may have seen it in the past. This is the same one. I'm just throwing in some information about VA school since we have that going on today, but or this week. But I do want to say that, and you can't see because they go farther off to the sides and higher. But these are some of the people who've signed up for VA school already. So if you don't know what that is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. But mostly this time today is really about understanding is being a VA for you, and what your lifestyle would be. So when I first started out my business almost 11 years ago, this is me and my little delicious daughter, Emily. And it took me a long time to have her. And I really wanted to spend time with her. She's 20 now. She just turned 20 on Sunday. I can't believe it. She's my height. I'm 5'10". She's 5'9". And it's crazy. It's crazy. And she's awesome. She's awesome. So when I started my business, it was at a time when I had a ton of debt. I was just talking to Greg about it. I was kind of reminiscing. I said, when I met you, I didn't even have a credit card. And because what would happen when you carry a high balance sometimes and you're not able to pay your payments all the time, like I was, what happens is you finally pay the credit card off and they close it. So now you don't have a credit card. So I had no credit cards. I had no way to pay for things. I couldn't actually rent a car. That's the thing. And here I am, I'm 50 years old, and I'm like, really? Like, what the heck? So ton of debt, couldn't pay the mortgage for a year, all kinds of stress going on. I'm a newly single mom, getting divorced, and there's no additional source of income. So I need to figure out how I'm going to take care of me, how I'm going to take Emily, and I didn't have a job. I knew I didn't want to go back and do the kind of work that I had done in IT, which was, I enjoyed the work. The issue really was more the hours, the commute, all of that. I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to leave Emily, and I didn't want her shuffled around. I didn't want her in daycare all the time. So I really had to figure out how to make this work. And then just to make things even more fun, while I'm going through all the divorce and the debt and trying to figure it all out, we had to move 3 times in 4 years. And we settled in a wonderful place in Connecticut. And it's been great. But it was, to say it was a struggle is sort of an understatement. It really was a struggle. And I've been talking a lot about my journey and to get to where I am now. And I'll talk about that just for a minute. So because I didn't want to go back to my, a job, because I wanted to work on my own, I like doing administrative work. I had been a secretary in the dark ages. I had been doing some temp work, just trying to make some quick money. And I realized by doing that I needed to go out on my own. I needed to start my own business because working for a temp agency, well, it's sort of like working for a VA agency, right? You're not going to make the big bucks or as big as you can if you go out on your own. It's not to say it's not a fit for some people, but for me, I lived in Boston. It's very expensive. I have this 9-year-old daughter who likes horses. And no, we don't own a horse, but even just riding them is expensive, and I needed to figure that out. So anyway, I started telling everybody I knew about being a virtual assistant, and we're going to talk about getting clients in a few minutes. But my business took off, and it's been really great. I've been a full-time VA for almost 11 years. The first year I made $70,000, and I've consistently made $100,000 every year since then, and some years even more. One year I made $146,000, and it was great. And I didn't have to ask anybody, I didn't have to ask anyone for a raise. I asked for a price increase, which is a little different because you can command that. Oh wow! So Marielle says we used to be neighbors. I'm from Holbrook. I lived in Jamaica Plain, which is part of Boston. Well, you probably know where it is. It's kind of near Brookline. Yeah, I love Boston a lot. It was a big transition to leave the city. I now live in the country, but I have chickens, so I don't live in the country. I live in the suburbs. That's really where I live. So all of you know, I'm sure that I've been talking about VA school, which is something that I started just a few years ago. And the reason I started it was I saw that. So I had figured it out. I wasn't struggling anymore. I got the debt under control. I got my my life back in order in a way that I realized I could help other people. And I love helping my VA clients, and my clients that I have as a VA, and I thought I really want to help other people have a business like this because I figured it out. I've created these systems, and it's really straightforward when you know how to do it, but I see people overthinking it and struggling and all of that, and I just wanted to help them cut through it. So I started I started the VA Connection, and I had a Launchpad course, which is recently retired. It's similar to VA school. And then I have an accelerator program, which is a group coaching program and for people who want a more intense one-on-one interaction with me. They have 4 one-hour sessions with me over the course of 12 weeks and other things as well, but we won't get into that right now. But what I do want to talk about is that VA school is the thing that I've been working toward all along. It was what I had in mind when I started this, and now we are to the point where it's here, and I'm so excited. I've been talking about it. What's today? Is today Monday? Yeah, I've been talking about it since Thursday. And pretty nonstop. So you probably heard me talk about it a little bit. And if you're wondering if it's for you, if you're thinking, I wonder, I have this question, I have that question, what about this? Just shoot me a text. I know this says call me, but the truth is I'm I'm kind of all over the place today. So if you text me, I will text you back. We'll find a time to talk, or you can text me your question. That works too. So just go ahead and do that. That's my cell phone. It's always right here. And I will answer it. Okay. I'm going to put my number down at the bottom while we do this. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Don't you? I love this phone. My graphics guy is like a genius. I love him. All right. So another thing we talked about that I want to make sure you don't miss is there's a fast action bonus for people who signed up for VA school before midnight tonight. You're going to get an additional group coaching session on discovery calls. So how to stay confident and calm and get hired by the right people. And that is really all about what happens in the discovery call. So I want you to, if you're going to sign up, go ahead and do it before midnight tonight so you can get that. There are lots of bonuses that come with VA school, the template library, the newsletter system, the debit card course, 3 months of Facebook support. And did I say the template library? I think that's what I didn't say, the template library. It's really 11 years of what I've been working on, all brought together in a nice little package with a bow. All right. So here I am 10 years later, really almost 11 years later. And I have worked with over 200 clients, really probably more like 220 clients. And in that time, in a corner of my home, I have generated more than $1 million doing very simple administrative work, for my clients. I have had some sort of high tech clients where I've done some marketing automation and stuff like that. But for the most part, I'm doing pretty low tech things that I was able to learn pretty quickly. And it's been great. It's been really great. I want to show you this. I just learned how to do this. These are the people who are signed up. These are just some of them. I need to update this. People have been pouring in today. It's really exciting. I'm not even sure what number we're at, but I'm going to check right after this. But these are some of the people who have signed up already for VA school. And you can see them behind me. Each one has a graphic like this. And I love this because I feel like I'm starting to get to know them. Because their pictures are here and I can relate to them and I'm starting to know their names. I've seen a lot of you in the live streams this week and at the challenge last week. And then the other thing was I had all of these in a stack and I wrote notes to each person who signed up. And so I feel like the connection has started and I like that. So I like having them behind me. So I'm sending a note and then I'm sending a sticker to everybody that signs up, which is kind of fun too. I'm going to put it, mine's going to go on my computer. And I was telling Greg, we should put this on your truck. And he's like, uh-huh. So anyway, but I wanted to let you know what was behind me. So, and you can't really see, they're kind of spread all out, but it's awesome. So, and that $1 million was made in actually the chair I'm sitting in right now. And in not a lot of space, not a lot of space. So here's us today. Absolutely. This is Emily at 20 and me and Greg. Greg and I think we're going to get married this summer. I hopefully this weekend we'll go over to the place where we're thinking about getting married and check it out. But being a VA really did change my life. I feel like I have choices. I can make decisions. For a long time, I felt like decisions were being made for me because I had lost my power somehow. I just really had lost my power. I lost my credit for sure. And I finally feel like I can breathe again, which is huge, and I think sometimes you don't really appreciate the change until you walk through it and can breathe. It took a while for that. It took a while for that. All right. Today, the VA Connection is a professional online community. We have over 14,000 members in 147 countries. I'm the founder, and I am very clearly committed to connecting and educating VAs all over the world. That is really what I'm about, and I enjoy it so much. So being a virtual assistant, I want to talk about the definition of what is a VA, and the reason I want to do that is because I think some of you have overcomplicated it or perhaps made it something it's not exactly, which keeps you from it, okay? So here's what a VA is. A virtual assistant it provides administrative, technical, or creative assistance to clients. You see how broad that is? It's really broad. Administrative, technical, or creative. But instead of working full-time for one person or organization, he or she works virtually using from home, providing the same types of services to a range of clients. So you can see here, it doesn't say anything about ClickFunnels or marketing or automation or any of that. It really doesn't have to be about that at all. I spend a lot of time creating, PowerPoint slides or creating a PDF from a Word document or adding a logo to a Word document and then making a PDF. What else do? I do, it's called calendar management, where a client will email me. He'll email someone and CC me and say, hey, Joe, I'd like to have lunch with you. Belinda will handle it if you're available. And Joe will say, what about, he'll say, sure, that sounds great. And then I'll email Joe and say, how about 1, 2, or 3 o'clock on whatever dates? And then I put it on the calendar when Joe agrees, and then I remind them the day before. So just confirming, very simple things like that. So I hope that you find some breadth in this definition, because I just want to make sure you know that you have skills already that you can provide for clients. So there's 7 questions that come up over and over, and I'm going to tell you what those are, and then I want you to let me know if you have other questions. I'd love for you to let me know in the comments while we're talking, because I really want to make sure that I answer all of your questions. Okay, so the first one, are you ready to work on your own? What do you need to get started? Where do I get clients? How much money can I earn? What training is required? Can I work part-time? And who hires virtual assistants? So we may or may not get to all of those depending on where you want to take this conversation, but that's where I'm headed right now. Okay. So a big question is, are you ready to work on your own? And I want to talk about what that means. Working on your own means you have to set your schedule. You have to put yourself in your seat. You have to think really in terms of being a business owner, you know, because someone who has a job, they have a boss. The boss mostly tells them what to do. The boss guides the work. You do the work, it goes well, it doesn't, you keep your job, you lose your job. But you're within the, I think of it as like a mold of the company, of the boss, of the job. And this is very different because we get to decide what our services is. We get to decide what our pricing is. We get to decide a lot of things. So it leaves a lot of questions, and that can sometimes feel a little bit like a free fall. You know, it can feel like, uh-oh. So you need to, in order to be successful, you want to think about this as a business. You know, you need a business bank account. You need an EIN, which is an employer identification number. You need to be the one to set your prices. You really need to think about it in those terms. And then the other thing is you want to think about how self-guided you are. You know, are you able to sit down at your desk and work for a number of hours at a time? You know, whether you're part-time or you're full-time, are you able to do that? Because there are so many distractions at home. You know, like I will really want to be making banana bread sometime today, and it would have been easy for me to just, you know, like blow the morning off and make banana bread, but I had client work that needed to be done, and so it's important that I handle that. So you do need to be self-guided. You do need to be able to be successful, to you know, have some discipline about your work to be successful. I want to talk about risk. Risk is really interesting because when I started being a VA, I thought, am I insane? Like, what am I doing? I have to get my own insurance. I have to, you know, be working on my business, in my business, thinking ahead. And I don't know anything about marketing. Like, what the heck am I doing? And so fast forward, this is what happened. So I just decided, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it anyway. It's going okay. This is fine. And then I started watching people my age lose their job. And it's hard to get a job when you're my age. It was hard for me to get a job when I was 50. I tried briefly before I realized I didn't want a job. And it's hard. And so what happens is you have, you have what I call a single point of failure. So a single point of failure is when one person or the HR department or your boss decides they don't need you anymore, they tell you and you leave. So it could be that you think everything's fine, and maybe it is, but maybe a pandemic hits, which, you know, a year ago or a year and a half ago, people would be like, yeah, right. But it, you know, stuff happens, or there's a recession, or there's like a million things, you know, like in my case, I got laid off when Emily was, she was like 6 months old. I had no idea it was coming. But what happened was I was a technical project manager. So I helped, you know, keep projects organized in the IT department, and 9/11 happened. And I worked in an ad agency, and the clients of the ad agency were airlines and, you know, like things that weren't happening anymore, and industries that died. And they let a third of the company go. Like, boom, that was it. We were done. And so it's interesting because while it feels like having your own business is risky, I am at by far less risk than anybody I know who has a job, because right now I have 43 active clients. So what that means is, literally, if half of them went away, would I feel it? Yeah, I would feel it. Would I be able to pay my expenses? Yeah, I would. Would I be scared for a minute? And then I know how to get clients. I do that all the time. So I would just crank that up in my little extra free time that I have, because I'm not working for those 20 clients who went away, which that's never happening. And even in the pandemic, it was interesting because right away, you were there, everything got quiet. It was like, oh, what's this? And then what happened was there was about a 2 or 3 week period where I thought, okay, like, how does this impact me? What does this mean? I don't understand. And then, one at a time, my clients popped up and they popped up and they popped up. And I got back to work. And in fact, I had a record number of clients start with me during that time, they wanted to pivot because they realized I have to pivot and I have to do that now. So that's what happened. So there's definitely risk. But you can do it part-time until you make enough money, to leave your job if you want. But think about that boss. What do you need to get started? Well, you definitely need a dedicated workspace. A workspace that you can leave. So let me tell you the opposite of a dedicated workspace, and then we'll talk about what a dedicated workspace is. One of my friends, she has her own business. She works at her dining room table. They eat dinner at their dining room table. They just have one table, kitchen, dining room. It's in the dining room, but there's no kitchen table. So every time she wants to work, she has to, or it's like when she wants to eat, she has to pack it up. And when she wants to work, she has to unpack it. So she's constantly packing and unpacking. So I really think you need a dedicated workspace, a place where you can go and just spread your stuff out and have it there. And you don't have to have a lot of space. I got an office because between Greg and I, we have 5 kids, and Emily's still here, but everybody else, is living other places. A couple of them are grown up and have their own apartments, and actually 3 of them. And so we call it the middle bedroom. I took the middle bedroom and I made it my office. But before that, and for the 9 years prior to that, I had my desk in a little nook in my apartment, in my condo, and I just made it so that we all have areas of our house, or I always seem to have them. Like we had a living room that we were in at Christmas. We opened our presents, but other than that, we hung out in the kitchen, and so that's where I made my office. When I moved into my little apartment, I was in a bay window in the dining room. And if I didn't really have people over, but if I had, it would have been fine. And then my next apartment, there was a little nook in the living room. And then I worked in our bedroom. There was like a half, it's like more, it's hard to explain. There's like, I couldn't see my desk from my bed, or my bed from my desk, but it was in the bedroom. And the space was about this much wider than my desk on either side. So you don't need a lot of space, but you want to be able to leave your stuff out and have it stay right there. The second thing you need is to be articulate about what you do. And if any of you did the challenge last week, we talked about that briefly. And we're going to talk more about that in VA school, but people need to understand what you do so they can refer you and hire you. And you also need clarity about your pricing. You need to be crystal clear about your pricing, because otherwise you'll go out there, you won't charge enough. And then, you'll need to raise your prices, which you need to do anyway, but it's like a whole thing. So you want to be clear about your pricing. And I want to show you, let's see if this is still up. Hold on. Where is this? It's over here. I just showed this earlier today. This is part of VA school. So this is a revenue goal tool. So you set the number here. Greg made this. It's really cool. So the gray places are where you put your numbers. So this is part of VA school, part of the pricing module. So let's say you wanted to make $50,000, whoops, or $500,000. You could do that too. I'm kidding, not really. You could run an agency and do that. And your hourly rate is $15, and you're going to bill. You want to bill 36 hours a week and you want to work 48 weeks a year. So let me make this bigger. So what you can see from that, you look at the yellow boxes, those are the ones that change. So in order to make $50,000 and bill 36 hours and work 48 weeks, you actually need to charge $29 in order to make that math work. But you need to work 69 hours a week, which is impossible. And you need to, work 92 weeks a year, which that doesn't exist. However, let's just for fun, let's make this $50 an hour. And now you can see, okay, you can, if you make it $50 an hour and you want to make $50,000, you can actually make a lot more than that. You're going to make $86,000 with the same model if you work $50 an hour, 36 hours. What did I have here? What did I have? Guys, I have no short-term memory. Hold on. Let's see. Let's say it's the 30. I keep putting too many zeros. And then you can see here, if it's $30 an hour, that's a little over. That's the sweet spot. So that's how you can, you can calculate that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that because it is part of the VA school and it's really cool. And you need to be clear about your pricing and you need to be clear about the math because a lot of people don't do that math, which is why I've created, with Greg's help, that calculator, because I hear over and over, I'm at my desk all day long, I'm not making any money. And I say, what's your hourly rate? And they'll say some number like $50 an hour. And then they'll say, except for my 5 biggest clients who were my first clients, they're at $20 an hour. It's like, well, that's why you're not making the money. So there's another spreadsheet that's part of VA School that shows you your average hourly rate, because a lot of you guys are at different rates. And I want you to have a reality test, for what you're actually earning, because sometimes we're not sure. And I want you to be sure. Any questions about any of this so far? Okay, where do I get clients? Clients are everywhere. Clients are everywhere. And it's important to know that, because what I realized recently is I see a lot of you're in a Facebook group and somebody posts a job and you all jump on it like zoom. And everyone's like, me, 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 me. And you're swimming in this sea that is filled with fish. Like you're bumping into each other, right? Kind of reminds me of the chickens. When I am a chicken mom, and when I let the chickens out at night so they can hang out in the yard, like they're all like, the door's this wide and the door is actually like that wide, and the chickens are like half the width of the door. And they're all like trying to get those fluffy butts through the door at the same time, and they're kind of squeezing each other. And that's what it seems like is happening when you look for a job online, or at least on Facebook. That's what I've seen. So what I want you to do is something completely different. I call it the sprinkling method. And the sprinkling method is, hi, Louis, let me answer your question, and then I'll talk about the sprinkling method. When can you raise your price if you find they're too low? Today. So here's what you're going to do, and I know you're enrolled in VA school, so you're going to get all of this really soon. You're going to be really clear about it. So here's how I did it. I raised my rates on my new clients. So I had clients, let's say I had clients at this rate, and then I raised it on my new clients. And then when I had a few of my new rate, like, because I had to create confidence for myself, it was too risky for me to raise my rate on my existing clients because I was afraid that they would leave, which that's what we're afraid of, right? So I raised it on the new clients, and then I made a mistake. And so I'm going to teach you a different way, but I kept raising my prices on my new clients until I had clients at this really wide range, and that was bad for a bunch of reasons, and I'll go into that more in VA school. But you know what? I'm going to open this window. Hold on. I'm sitting here with a fan on me and no fresh air. Okay. So, oh, that's better already. I was wondering why it was so warm in here. I forgot that I closed the window when I turned on the air conditioner, and I turned off the air conditioner. So what I needed to do was I needed to raise all the prices to 1, and I did that in 2016. So what you want to do is raise your prices on your new people, get a few, prove yourself it's fine. If the first 2 people say no, don't sweat it. It doesn't mean you shouldn't raise your price. It just means that those people are not the right people for you. And so let's say you're at, let's say you're $20. Your next client's at 30. They're just at 30 or 35. And they're not that you don't want to, they're not going to know, they're not going to know that you raised it from 40 to 50. They're just going to know that you're 50. So that works. And then eventually in VA school, I'm going to teach you how to raise the ones you already have, but that's how I would do it. It's a lot less scary if you just raise it on the new people that are coming in. All right, so let's talk about sprinkling. So sprinkling is my method of staying in touch. Thanks for that question. That was great. Sprinkling is my method of staying in touch with people I know and for getting clients. I talked about being clear about being articulate about talking about your work. So when I get asked, what do you do? I say, I'm a virtual assistant. I work with solo professionals and small businesses. I help them with their administrative needs, like PowerPoint presentations, email newsletters, and managing their calendar. And then I stop talking. And we did a whole day in the challenge just on that. And that's so getting clear, that's at it right there. And there's a lot more information about this in VA school that you'll see, but essentially that's the first step. Once people know once you can say what you do and you're clear about your prices, you just start telling everybody. You tell everybody. And the sprinkling method includes an email newsletter, keep in touch emails, a lot of very easy things. It's easy to do. The key is to be consistent, and I teach all of that. But the sprinkling method really is just letting everybody that you know what you do, and people will come to you. So some methods of sprinkling, I mentioned the email newsletter. You can send people emails. We talked about that in the challenge too. Send 2 people an email a day saying, hey, how's it going? None of it is selling. There's no selling involved. I don't like to sell. I'm uncomfortable selling. I'm not selling. I'm just letting them know what I do, what I can offer, and they decide from there what they want. And I don't try to convince them. All right, so let's talk about how much money you can earn. So money is interesting. So the big driving force on how much money you can charge is your skills and your confidence. But you know what? I could change the slide. I probably should. How much confidence you have? Like, what number are you willing to say? Now, starting out and you don't have any experience and you say $90 an hour, that's probably going to freak you out. So I don't want you to do that because you have to believe in it. But really, it's your confidence. And the thing that I want you to know is that it takes time to get confidence, but it builds. It builds over time, and some people. I want to say this again because I really think people ask me this question all the time, and I'm not getting paid $90 or $100 an hour because I know how to do marketing automation. I get paid $90 or $100 an hour because I'm willing to ask for it. I provide good work, and I'm confident. So when a client says to me, can you connect with these people on LinkedIn and make sure they get on my newsletter list? I say yes, and then I do that. I connect with them on LinkedIn and make sure they get on his newsletter list. There's nothing hard about that. It's literally clicking, copying, and pasting. That's what I'm doing. I probably spend most of my time doing clicking, copying, and pasting for my clients. Or, he'll ask me, and clients come with what they want, So a client might say, I'd like to know how my newsletter is performing. So I'll say, okay, and I'll come up with a spreadsheet that takes the information from Constant Contact or MailerLite or MailChimp, and I'll just put it in a spreadsheet so he can see it really clearly where that stands. And that's the kind of thing that I do get paid, $90 an hour. So like I said, it's because of the confidence, and it's because I'm clear about my pricing, my voice doesn't go up. When someone asks, how much do you charge an hour? I say $90. I don't say $90 and then keep talking about why I'm worth it and why I have all this experience and why they should want me and why I'm going to change their business and I'm going to free them up and give them all this free time. I just say $90 an hour. And that's what I'm going to teach you as well. It's so ironic that this presentation is today, because I mentioned earlier, I give this every, about every 4 weeks in the Facebook group. And it just so happens that today I have a solution for all these questions. Usually I don't, so it's pretty exciting. So here's my story. So I started out and I was charging, when I first started out, I didn't know that people would do this kind of work for $15 an hour. So in a lot of ways, it really helped me. I had been making $100,000 in corporate. And so I decided that my brain was worth $50 an hour, which is roughly $100,000. I thought, all right, I've been getting paid this for, let's see, I guess I'd been making that much for about 2 years. And I thought, all right, this is the deal. So I decided on $50 an hour. I got encouraged from some friends to do that. And I started getting clients. Like I just mentioned, I then started raising my rates. So when I'm at 50 and I have like 10 clients, I think, okay, this is actually real. This is going to work. I didn't have maybe enough work yet, but I was confident in $50. So then I raised it to 60. And then I still got clients and I got more confidence because now I'm like, I'm making more than I made in corporate per hour. This is really good. Then I raised it to 70, and then I was a chicken, and I raised it to 75, and instead of 80, and then I just kept doing that. Now I went all the way up to $120 an hour. I was working with a coach. She was really, she really thought that people would pay $120 an hour for my services, which is confidence in getting stuff done, basically. And so I went to 120. I argued with her all the way. Every time one of my I've had coaches, they want me to raise my rate. I argue like my life will be over. You're ending everything for me. Like I get that passionate about like, no way, that's not happening. I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? So anyway, I got all the way to 120. Now 120 didn't turn out to be a good rate for me, but not for why you might think. That year, 26 new clients paid me whatever it was $1,200, I think, or $1,250, I don't remember. This was in 2016 for 10 hours of my time. And what I found is that the work slowed down because they were saving me like a pretty dress for a special occasion. And then one day, that actually happened to me. I had a special pretty dress. I was like 9 years old. I wanted to wear it to this one party. So I was saving it. And by the time I could wear it, I had outgrown it. And so they were kind of doing that. And they weren't all using their time. It was really interesting. And mostly they weren't like bringing me into their business the way I want to be in there. Like I'm part of it for a lot of them. So I lowered my rate, and you can do that. So instead of 120, I decided, I did some research. I figured out where my best clients were, the people I liked the most, and it was $90 or $100 an hour. So if people prepay my time, which that's how I get paid, people prepay my time. If they buy 10 hours, it's $900 or $90 an hour. If they pay 5 hours, it's $500 or $100 an hour. And I've been doing that for a really long time. Now, what happened when I raised the price from, when I lowered the price, I still had all these other clients at literally 50, 60, 70, 75, 80, 90. And so I had to raise all of them at once. So what I did, and I had seen someone else just send out an email to his client list, like, I'm raising my rates, tough, Tootsie Rolls or whatever. And he lost a bunch of clients. And that was not my plan. I wanted to keep my clients. So what I did was I made a list of all my clients, how much they were paying, and I ranked them by how much I liked them. And there were a couple clients I didn't really like that much, so I told them first. Both of those clients were $60 an hour, and I told them they were going to be raised to 90 or 100. And they went away. They actually came back but I let that be okay. It was like, okay, all right, so those two it's not going to work for. Then when I told the next two and the next two and the next two, because I did it slowly because I don't want my business to fall apart, nobody left. Nobody. So now I have all these clients at this rate. Now keep in mind, this was 2016 and I was already making $100,000 a year. This was the year when I made $146,000 because the work didn't slow down. The 120 people sped up and the other people didn't slow down. And that was crazy. That was really crazy. So I evened it all out. Some people left, but people leave all the time. Their business changes, they retire. And that's why I have so many clients. Right now I have 43 debit card clients, like they have time on the books because of that whole single point of failure thing. If you have two big clients and that's your whole business, if one of them goes away, you're kind of in trouble. So I work with a number of clients doing different things, and it's morphed over time. Sometimes I have more that are a higher percentage, but nobody runs the ship. Nobody's running the ship. Any one of them could go away. In fact, I fired two clients. One of them was a $30,000 a year client, and one was a $21,000 a year client. They were miserable. It was terrible, and I took the first one because she was guaranteeing me 10 hours a week and I needed the money. It was right when everything was falling apart. And so I did it even though I knew we weren't a good fit. And I toughed it out for 2 years. And I remember I told her in December we were done. I continued to work with her I was really in her business. So I had to, get myself out. And within a month I'd made it up because my rates were now 90. And I had room, and people were, they were willing to pay me that amount. So I closed that gap. It was, I don't even think the month after that, when she didn't pay me the $2,400 that she was paying me, I didn't even notice it. It was no problem. So you definitely can do it. It's really scary. But if you have someone there helping you, you can definitely do it. So any questions about that? Any money questions? You guys are kind of quiet. I wonder if I've worn you out because I've been live so much. When I give this talk in person, it's really fun. Last time I gave this talk in person was like the last time I went out before the shutdown. I was giving it for an organization in the U.S. called SCORE, and I gave this presentation. I think it was it was the day before my birthday. It was March 11th, and then the next day the whole world shut down. It was pretty crazy. But people are they have so many questions. So please don't be shy. So let's talk about training that's required. So there's something I want you to know about this. If you're looking for a task list, you can go to, I think this is not actually accurate right now. So there's something called the Ultimate Virtual Assistant Money Making Task List. And oh, I know where it is. Okay. Usually it's at the banner at the top of the virtual assistant, the VA Connection website. But right now it talks about the challenge, and I haven't changed it back. So if you scroll down a little bit, you will see there are 3 squares, yellow squares with orange covers. They're things you can download. That's one of them. So if you're wondering what kind of training you need, those are services that you can offer in there. It's 12 pages, lots of information. Now, the other thing that you need to know, and again, this is why I created VA School, is you need to know how to run a business. And that's really what VA School is all about. It's about your pricing. It's about getting clients. It's about setting boundaries. It's about the things here, getting the word out, managing clients. How to raise your prices. It's really it's like VA Business School is what I should have called it, VA Business School, because that's really at the core of what it is, because that's the part that people struggle with. You can Google how to do some client thing 99% of the time, and you'll find a YouTube video, or you'll see an article or a training or something. So that's not it. The part where people don't make any money, it's not because they don't have the right skills or can't do the work. It's because they don't know how to run a business. And so that's why I created this. So I'm just going to tell you specifically what it is, and then we'll jump into question number 6. So VA School is it's a 12-week program where I'm going to teach you exactly what you need to start, manage, and scale. Yeah, I like that too. You know, I hadn't thought about that name, VA Business School. Who knows? Maybe we'll change it. I don't know. That's the thing, right? We can do anything. So you're without getting overwhelmed, without getting stressed out. We're going to deal with imposter syndrome. We're going to deal with confidence. We're going to deal with all of that. And you'll be able to, you'll have everything in bite-sized chunks. So there are 10 modules. In the 10 modules, it's broken down into quick videos, quick complete videos, so that you don't have to sit and listen for a long time. It's hard for me to sit in my seat and watch something like that, especially training. And if you want to, and you apply yourself in 12 weeks, you can definitely have a business. You can have clients in just a couple of weeks or less. You know, it's really up to you how this goes. But I'll give you the information on how to do it. And you can find it right here. If you go to the vaconnection.com, it's going to be right in front of you. There's a pretty yellow banner there. And so keep that in mind. It's open for enrollment right now. Enrollment is closing tomorrow at midnight Eastern time. And one more thing, there are a bunch of bonuses that come with this. So the first one is, this is going to test my memory, the debit card course. There's a course on pricing, how to set up payment. That's included. That I sell by itself. It's $300. There's an email newsletter course. I teach that for two reasons. One is I want you to do a newsletter so that you can spread the word about your business. And I even include 12 already written newsletters. So you can send out a newsletter like, you know, a couple days after, you know, you sign up. The other thing is I want you to know how to do newsletters, because I have made a ton of money doing the setup of newsletters for my clients. I don't provide the text, they write the newsletter, and then I just do the mechanical pieces, and this course will teach you that as well. There's also a Facebook group for 3 months, live support in there. What else? Hold on, there's a template, oh yeah, there's a template library, all of the templates that I use in my business, like the one I showed you a minute ago, all kinds of stuff like that, scripts, checklists. I wonder if, let's see, hold on. Let's see, I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen. Here we go. I have 3 screens that I never know where something's going to pop up, which makes this little. So here is my new client onboarding checklist that's going to be in VA School. So these are all the things that I do with clients when they sign up. Here's another template that's in there, informational interview meeting questions. So when an informational interview is a really great way, stress-free way to get the word out and to get clients. And so here I walk you through all of that. Oh, excuse me. You know, I think it has, I'm yawning because I've been talking so much. I think I'm deprived of oxygen or something. Here's another VA School template, home office checklist. So some of the things that we talked about. So that's all part of it as well. Okay, so let's get on to question number 6. Can I work part-time? Absolutely. You have to consider the type of work. So for example, I have a client who I'm in his business every day. He emails me. He expects that I'm going to respond to him in a couple of hours. He's reasonable in terms of how long work takes. You know, he doesn't expect me to just jump in and do something I don't know about at a moment's notice. But you do have to consider the type of work. So that client wouldn't work. A newsletter client would work, because typically they'll give me the newsletter on Monday. They need it Wednesday. So I've got, you know, a lot of time to get that done. Other kinds of work, if you're maintaining if you're maintaining a system for someone, you know, you can do that in your own time. So you just can't do things that are in the moment, you know, where they need you. Like managing someone's calendar, that's not something that's easy to do if you're not working every day. If you're working 3 hours a day in the morning, that could definitely work. You also have to set expectations. You have to make sure that your client knows when you're available and when you're not, and that comes from a consistent schedule. You really need to consider that your clients want to know when they can reach you. Like for me, if I was working with someone and I know they're available Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 till 2, then I know when I email them that I'm going to get a response, and I won't expect anything on Tuesday. Just like if I email, if a client emails me on Saturday, they know that I'm not going to respond to them till Monday. They're just telling me what they want me to do. Lucky for me, I show up on Monday and there's new work for me. Yay, right? That's what we want. So you do have to consider a consistent schedule. And then who hires VAs? Everybody who knows what we do. So small business owners, authors, these are just some of who my clients are: financial planners, coaches, consultants, nutritionists, recruiters, real estate agents. And I have hired VAs, definitely, because, for example, my client onboarding, I don't need to do that. I already know how to do that. There's a checklist, right? So someone else could do that for me. Or, other things. They can do client work. So you really everybody can use a VA. I haven't heard of too many people when I describe my work, they either say, I really want to do that, or they say, I really need someone who can do that. And it's funny. What happens is, when you're clear about your pricing, when you have everything in place, people will seek you out. They will definitely seek you out. I don't even really know what looking for a client means anymore. It's funny because when I started VA school, people kept asking me, where do you find your clients? Where do you find your clients? And I was thinking, like, where do I find my clients? And then I realized I don't. What I do is I do the sprinkling method that I teach you in VA school, clear about my pricing. I know how to talk about my work. My clients find me. I have discovery calls lined up for next week already. And I've been watching my email. I've been mostly focusing on you, but I've been watching my email, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. So I have opportunity for 3 potential new clients next week just by putting myself out there. Okay. So these are the questions that we talked about, and I would love to hear any questions you have. Okay. So what to do next? If you want to start your journey as a virtual assistant, I absolutely would recommend VA School. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to get a lot done. And in 12 weeks, you can have a business. These are the bonuses that happily I remembered. So the debit card system, the done-for-you email newsletter system, the template library, the live support, group support, and the Rocket Girl Show, which some of you may or may not know what that is. It's a series of short videos, 5 to 7 minutes on specific topics, and there's over 100 of them. I think there's close to 115 or something like that. And I add new ones. Each week. I want to explain this graphic. I think it's super cool. My graphics guy made it for me. So if you sign up for VA School, it's $495. There's a payment plan too, and it helps you get one or half a client. So half a client, and if we look at this math, it's even really less than that. So if you charge $35 an hour, which is completely doable out of the gate, you work 8 hours a week, you'll make $280. Every month, if that's what you're doing, so you're working 8 hours a week, you'll make $1,120, which is actually double. It's more than double what VA School costs. But you're going to have quality clients. You're going to have a business that's set up in a way that doesn't cause you stress. You're confident in your pricing. You're confident in what you're offering, and that is, for me anyway, that's worth a lot. And we have a special founding member price. So VA School is going to be $997. Sorry, brain bubble. $997 when I offer it again. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but it will be $997. And this is a founding member offer because this is the first time that I've offered this particular course. I've had another course that's very similar. It's called VA School that I taught for 2 years. But now I am expanding it, and I'm calling it, no, it's called the Launchpad. I'm sorry. It's called the Launchpad. And now I've retired that program, and this is what I'm offering. So we're doing a founding member offer since all the students that enroll this time are new, and then we'll raise the price to $997, which is closer to where it probably should be right now. But I just thought it would be fun to start out and give a lot of people the opportunity. The other thing about being a founding member is that when the course comes out, you'll have unlimited access to this. So if we're doing, the course the next time around, and we add templates and videos and things like that, you'll have access to all of that as well. So because I'm an in the trenches VA and I'm still learning things every single day, we'll be adding to it. So I don't think of this as a course that's like it's really done, meaning, I record it, I give it to you, that's it. It's really going to be more of a living, breathing thing. I just realized there's something else I forgot to tell you about, and that is that we're going to have study halls. So once a week, we're going to get together, all together, the people who have signed up, and a Zoom call so we can see each other and talk to each other. And I'm going to answer all the questions about the modules, where we are. We're going to talk about next steps. And then, so that's 12 hours with me. So far, we have over 70 people signed up. And so there is some concern that the study halls will be crowded. If that is the case, I'll offer a second session during the week. We'll pick a time. We'll do a, do you guys know what a doodle is, where you can, is it a doodle? I think, no, wait a minute. What is that called? It's not Sign Up Genius. Anyway, we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll in the group. We'll find out when another good time is for everybody. And we'll have two. And that's part of being a founding member. Is I didn't know if we would need more than two, but I got into the challenge with you guys, and we had 3-hour live streams, which I have never done before. So it made me think, oh, an hour might not be enough. And then we're going to have 2 school assemblies. We're going to have a school assembly on Wednesday at 1 o'clock, where I'm going to welcome everybody into VA school, get to know you a little bit, and then we'll have another school assembly in September as we wrap up. So if you guys have questions about this, here's my cell phone number. Absolutely, shoot me a text. My phone is right here. Many people have taken advantage of that. So let me know if you have questions. Don't forget about the bonus that's at midnight tonight, and that ends at midnight on the discovery call coaching session. I'd love to have you join me for that. And thanks for coming. Thanks for listening. And I look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. Keep a watch out. Tomorrow we're going to have a bonus training session on the email newsletter system. And I'm going to be having conversations with lots of virtual assistants who have worked with me in the past so that you can hear their experience. All right, guys, take care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.